What's up, everyone? This is BigPowner, and I'm here to give you guys another cool farming method and some tips how to make it more profitable. It's basically a guaranteed currency farming method that also has some randomness to the loot. So you'll definitely be making, I'd say, probably like 3 EX an hour is your guaranteed drops as long as you run it the way I'm telling you to. Um, Past that, it could be a huge variance. Like you could make a ton more, or you could make like about that. Um, as long as you're running, what am I talking about? Let's start with that. I'm talking about running the hidden. The reason why specifically the hidden, this is farming for the Maven fights. The reason why specifically the hidden is because it's really easy to farm the fights. They don't take very long. It's really fast. Um, and right now we have some of the watchstones. Like if they drop, specifically like Valdo's Rest are super valuable. If you get a platinum one, they're like 1 EX. This is also a good way to get extra watchstones to fill out your map if you haven't done that yet. The splinters are really good, and that's like the guaranteed currency basically. If you run them rare, um, the average is like 5 splinters. Sometimes I get 7. Um, if you run it gray, you'll get 3. I highly don't suggest that. It is a significant decrease in the loot, and if you run them gray, you will not be making you won't be making 3x an hour or more off of your splinters. So the prices that I'm talking about are basically, let's bring it up, just based on your splinter drops. Just based on your splinter drops at the current price, which it's actually going up. So I was basing on 130 chaos at 5 splinters per run. Normally it takes 10 minutes for me to run each set. It's kind of like a pretty set time because the progression of it, because the progression of each fight. So you can't really go too much faster than that. It's pretty much the only thing you can speed up on is how quickly you kill the bosses. My suggestion, and so far in the testing, I tried running a lot of them unID'd. I don't think that that's the best way to do it. I think that the best way to do it is to take the invitations and re-roll them until you have a high quantity and don't have like some super rippy mod, because you can have some super rippy mods. So that's probably the best way to do it. You can get really high quantity by just re-rolling them. So that's kind of the way that I would suggest to do that. The invitations normally don't wind up being a cost. I've only had to buy invitations once or twice. You might have to buy them more if you take this advice. This advice would be, if you have friends that you can run them with, you guys each contribute a set number of stones. This cuts down your cost on stones, and makes it so that basically your investment is much lower. If you're like me and you just have tons of them and you run them with friends when you can, or if you want to run them, you just run them because you have a bunch of stones. That's another way to do it, but then you do have to kind of think about like the cost. A lot of the stones are basically no cost. 2C for Zoph, 2C for tolls, 1.5 for Esh, but only tolls is 9C, so that would come out of your profit. But on top of that, you're pretty much every time getting some some scarabs. The polished and gilded only are the only ones that pop up for me. But they're like 7C, something like that. Just in the scarabs, you should pretty much guaranteed wind up paying the cost of your stones. On top of that, there are some inherent drops. They're not super big currency. There's the necklace, the halcyon, or I don't know how you say it, but like half an EX, and then there's the surrender shield, which is an EX, and each run you get 2 chances at these because the bosses drop the loot, and you get both times, like when you do the big fight and then also the regular fight. So it's pretty good consistent currency, and then based on your luck, you could make a lot more, or you could make about that if you run really unlucky. The cool thing is running it as a group. Basically running the regular breach stones, you're going to basically just be splitting. You're basically going to be just splitting all of the loot that drops. The way that I've done it is we just rotate turns on who gets the invitation. So like if I get an invitation and I'm running with one person, the next time they get the invitation, and back and forth like that. If you're running with like a ton of people, you're probably going to wind up having to buy a lot of the invitations. Right now they're 20C. Pretty consistently been able to get them for that or less. And the couple times that me and my running partner have actually had to get them. So that could cut into your profit a little bit if you're just basically getting really unlucky and not getting any invites. 20C off of your profit. But that 3EX estimate per hour is based on 5 runs, and only counting the splinters as profit at like a low average. So you should definitely make more than that, even if you're not running lucky. But you will get lucky a few times if you're running it consistently, and you should be making more than that. Um, basically, you get several watchstones each drop. You get some scarabs, you get some inherent items, and I don't know. It's a fun way to change it up. You could also just do it if you just want to try to farm Maven. I personally don't at this point because I've killed her 13 times and I've gotten 1 Maven's orb, so I'm kind of like really turned off on the fight. I feel like either I'm just not meant to get the orbs right now, or the drop rate is set like crazy low. So yeah, I'm kind of turned off on the fight, honestly, but you can make currency by farming them and selling them, which if I continue running these, that's probably what I'll do, or I might wait till I'm not so demoralized from running so many fights and not getting any Maven's orbs, which is depressing, man. It's really depressing, man. So running charge breach sounds like this one. There's advantage and disadvantage. The advantage is you have a higher chance of getting loot. The disadvantage is they're gonna be more expensive, but a lot of them, like the charged, like the lower versions of the charged ones, are going to be actually really cheap. The only ones that are really expensive are like the pure stones. So basically, you just run for, and then do this fight. The obvious thing here is you're gonna have to actually be able to complete this fight. So yeah, you need a build that's gonna be able to do it. I don't know if this goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it. If you're running in a group, complete your invitational fights by yourself, because then it's your loot basically. Because everyone basically is getting a fight from it. Um, and then you get to go off on your own, kill it. Everyone gets their own loot from those things. The only loot that you're splitting is when you're actually doing the run, because everyone being in it is going to boost the base quantity and rarity. And since you're rotating, or you could do like my stash, my loot, or something like that. Just make it fair if you're gonna run with other people. Anyways, this is a cool little farming method that me and a friend have been doing to kind of change up our farming method's pretty good. I would like it a lot more if I hadn't gotten 0 Maven orbs on my last set of runs. So it kind of felt like I basically did all this farming for nothing. But you could just take the guaranteed currency and make out with that, or you could hope that you get better drops than me from Maven. Anyways, I hope that this is useful for some people out there. Thanks for watching. Peace.